What's good, YouTube? tplocks here, bringing you guys another video. Yes, today I wanted to talk to you guys about something real and something very near and dear to my heart, okay? Should you cut your dreadlocks for a good job? Let's talk about it. Per usual, you guys, if you have not done so already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you have hit that subscribe button already, go ahead and hit that notification bell to stay notified on all the posts the moment I post, okay? Now, we're just gonna get right into the video, you guys. This is gonna be some real talk. This video was inspired by one of my subscribers. I'll leave his comment up here. One of my subscribers, he cut his dreads for a good job. Good job. And he ended up leaving the job once he found out that it was not even something he really wanted to do. And it really, you guys, it really stopped me in my tracks. This inspired a video. I was gonna do products that I use. I was gonna do dreadlock review, but I stopped and I said, you know what? I gotta talk about this. Because at the end of the day, you guys, you know, the big question that I open up with is what's free? We live in a country where we have been so overcome by Eurocentric standards of beauty that within this capitalist society, we have allowed it to be acceptable for people to determine that our locks are bad for business, they're unkempt, they're dirty, they're nasty, they are indicators of a lack of intelligence, just a lot of the negative stigma that come with dreadlocks. It sort of gets to a point where you really get frustrated because, quite honestly, it's a very difficult question to confront when you're talking to young black males or young black women and they're asking you, you know, I really want locks, but you know, I'm really nervous because I don't know if I'd have to cut them for a job. And me being a person that wants to be positive and wants to be an idealist, but then also sort of having to be realistic because of the country we live in, it's frustrating. I can't tell that young man, I can't tell that young woman, hey, you are gonna be able to be successful no matter what you wanna do with your locks. That's just not true yet. It's just not true. Not to say that it's not true that you can't be successful, but it's not true that it's not going to be hard as hell to be able to do it in this country. I am a firm believer that the change that happens in this country is gonna start with us. Obviously, we know that there needs to be systematic change. I'm not a person that's like, hey, pick yourself up by your bootstraps, you can do it on your own. But when I'm talking affectionately to my people, and I'm assuming this is a safe space, but when I'm talking affectionately to my people, that is the talk track. We gotta build our own, we gotta start our own, we gotta uplift our own, and we gotta empower our own. Because as a black man, you guys, I understand exactly what you guys go through. The reason why the burden exists for us to feel like we have to cut our hair or do whatever or compromise our own levels of integrity for a job is because a lot of us don't come from nothing. A lot of us don't come from nothing. When I say come from nothing, I don't mean that as an insult. I just mean literally, a lot of us had to get it out the mud. The generation before me, my mother and my father grew up having to literally take a shit and a piss in a pot, dump it out. That was his restroom. My mother slept in a bed with 3 other brothers and sisters. Been working a job since 14 years old. That was her starting point in a single parent household. Literally, for them to have achieved what they achieved is like lottery, literally like the lottery. So as a black man, first generation college student, first generation to do something outside of the military in my family, burden is to be successful. The burden is to transcend that level of poverty. The burden is to elevate to a new level. You feel like you owe that to your family name. And a lot of times with these jobs and these corporations, due to the marketing and the juxtaposition that they have with, you know, higher socioeconomic classes, they oftentimes, they prop themselves up as this salvation for us. A lot of us come up and grow up in communities where we just want that good job. For a lot of us, that means, if it means cutting off our locks, we will do it. We absolutely will do it in a heartbeat. And a lot of people will say, that's a small thing, man. You know, I'll make 6 figures and I'll cut my hair for 6 figures. But that's not the point, you guys. The point is you should not have to. You should not ever come to a situation where you have to choose between your livelihood and your integrity. And at the end of the day, if you are on your lock journey for spiritual reasons, if you are on your lock journey because of the positivity that it brings into your life, you should not be forced or burdened with the anxiety at the beginning of that journey of whether or not you'll be able to keep them, because your livelihood is going to be dependent upon it. It's not okay. You guys, we have to uplift each other. We have to uplift our communities. We have to pour into each other, our businesses, the entrepreneurs. We have to celebrate each other's victories as if they were our own. Because at the end of the day, you guys, we have to understand that in this country, Black Americans are fragmented by design. A lot of us have more allegiance to an area code, to a city, than the own melanin and the own skin. And that's by design, you guys. Most of us don't have a language. Most of us don't have common cultural customs. We come from different places, so it makes it very difficult. And the crabs in the barrel mentality is real. It's a very real thing. But I just want to just kindly encourage us all to understand that the reality of where we are right now, we depend, and we are gonna have to depend on one another. You know, I look at the news these days and I see, you know, I went to an HBCU, I went to Florida A&M, and I see, you know, a lot of the movement sort of turning to people going to HBCUs, Black athletes considering going to these HBCUs. And I just think it's an amazing thing, because that is the beginning of the change. That is the beginning of changing the stigma. That is the beginning of understanding and getting people to appreciate the idea, the biases, the Eurocentrism, the standards of Eurocentrism are just not real. That's the beginning of it. And it's sad. You know, because at the end of this rant, at the end of this tangent, there are still millions of kids who won't get locks because they don't think that they can be a lawyer. They don't think that they can be an engineer. They don't think that they could work for these major companies. And to those of you who are in situations where you know you're gonna be going into a career field where you may have to cut your locks, all I can say to you young brothers and sisters is that I encourage you along the way as you work that 9 to 5 to also work on that 6 to 10. What does that mean? That means as soon as you get off work working for somebody else's vision, you go back to work for your own vision, okay? Because that is the true path to freedom, okay? We started off this video asking, what's freedom? Freedom is that 6 to 10. Freedom is that work that you put in for yourself and for your family. Because at the end of the day, guys, it's gonna have to start with us. We're gonna have to be the change. And in time, as we lead the way, as I know that we can, the world will catch up. The world will catch up. You know, until then, keep fighting that good fight, you guys. Do your best to balance the scales. Do your best to pour into each other, encourage each other. If I'm in your situation, I'm just gonna be honest with you. If I'm in your situation, and I speak from a place of privilege because I'm married, I have a partner, I have somebody that I can fall back on, I have a family that I can fall back on. I'm not cutting my hair for the good job. It came to a point where me elevating in this company required me to cut my hair, and I didn't want to cut my hair genuinely. It's not happening. It's not happening. And again, speaking from a place of privilege, speaking from a place of having support, even though I am a person whose family came from nothing, with that same burden to transcend that level of poverty, I just think certain things can't be bought. And at the end of the day, like, I sleep better being able to look myself in the mirror and maintain my integrity. We got a lot of work to do, you guys. And I didn't want this video to be a Debbie Downer. You know, usually I'm a little bit more jovial, happy. But this was some real talk that I had to drop. And, you know, I hope that it touches somebody today. I hope it encourages somebody to go invest Black. I hope it encourages somebody to, you know, to dismantle the crabs in the barrel mentality. I hope it encourages us to just keep into context and perspective the challenges that we still have ahead of us. And at the end of the day, you guys, we need each other. We need each other. So I say that with love, you guys. As always, this is tplocks signing out.